Hello everybody, in today's lesson we're going to be talking about writing equations of the line. This is Mrs. Pagan. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so there's actually two types of forms, and I need you to say this with me so that we remember. One is the slope-intercept form, and that's the one that we most commonly know as y equals mx plus b. The second form is called the point-slope form, and that is known as y minus y sub 1 equals m quantity times of x minus x sub 1. Now, a lot of people are like, when do I use which form? Well, it's pretty simple, I think. When you are given the slope and a y-intercept, I tend to use slope-intercept form. Whereas if I am given point and a slope, I tend to use the point-slope form, unless I am told otherwise. Alright. Let's kind of look at the pieces. So a general form would be if they gave me slope as 2. I'm like, wow, thanks, you guys are so nice. B equals 0, 7. Then, which we know then the B is 7. We can really quickly write the equation as y equals, go ahead and put in the 2 for the m, 2, an x is an x, and then put in the 7 for the y, positive 7. And here's our equation in slope-intercept form. Alright, now you can also be given the slope, which I'm like, wow, thanks so much, you are so nice, and a point. And the point could be any point. It could be negative 2, 3. And we can go ahead and use the point-slope form to kind of substitute. Now, we have a y, then it's minus. I'm just kind of following this. And we have a y sub 1. That's your y value of the point, which is this 3 right here. Close the parentheses, equals, then I see an m, so we're going to replace this fraction 3/4 with the m. And then we're going to open parentheses as I see it. There's an x, there's a minus, and then we have x sub 1. Well, our x sub 1 is negative 2. So now we can leave it like that, but we know better than that. We could actually simplify a little bit, and we are left with 3/4, and we know that two negatives create a positive. So here's what our equation in point-slope form will look like. Now, why did I pick it? Because once again, I had a point here and a slope here, so why not use that one? Alright, let's look at example number 1 as we solve some of these. It says, write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So they're being particular, and that's okay. So we're going to make sure that we put it into y equals mx plus b format for these example 1 problems. And this is given the following information. Now, they're saying that the slope is negative 2/3. So I like to write m equals negative 2/3. They're also telling us that the y-intercept is negative 7. Well, that is our b value. So b equals negative 7. So that's awesome, because right now they gave us what we need, which in this case is slope and the intercept. Nice. So I'm going to go ahead and write y equals mx plus b. Kind of move it up a little. Alright, so a y is a y, an equal sign is an equal sign. We don't want to forget those things. We can replace the m with negative 2/3, and an x is an x, a plus sign is a plus sign, and a b, in this case, is negative 7. Now, you can leave it like that, but I know some people are bothered by that, so you can write y equals negative 2/3 x, and instead of doing plus negative 7, you could just do minus 7. So this is our final answer. Great job. That was awesome. Alright, now, in this case, we are given a slope, which happens to be is 1/4, and it passes through a point. So we are actually given a point. Now, hopefully you're going, are we going to be using point-slope form, because we have a point and a slope? Yes. Now, let's go ahead and get started. I like to write these equations first. You know why? It helps me memorize them, so I know what it looks like. Alright, so this is our point-slope form, and now we get to substitute in values. I'm going to actually show you so that you can kind of see it. I'm going to change these values really quick to 3 and negative 2. The slope is the easy one, but let's change that one too. So let's make this blue. Alright, so you can kind of see where they go. we're going to start off with our green color. So open parentheses y minus, and then y sub 1 comes. Well, in this case, y sub 1 is negative 2. So notice that I put in the negative 2. Alright, that's really, really important that you see that. Let's make that green because that's supposed to be green. Equals our slope. Well, our slope is 1/4 and it's in blue. So here it is, 1/4. Then we have a parenthesis, x minus, we close a parenthesis, but we need to put the x sub 1, which happens to be in red, and it's our 3. So that's what it looks like, but the equation, or the problem says write it in slope intercept form. So slope intercept form is y equals. So we need to get the y by itself. So here's what this looks like. Y, two negatives create a positive. Boom. 1/4, then we have x minus 3. Okay, now we need to go ahead and get y by itself. So we're almost there. So we're going to do y plus 2. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 1/4 to the x as well as the negative 3. So we have 1/4 x. I like to make this a fraction, so I can just do it by hand. 1 times 3, negative 3 is negative 3, and 4 times 1 is 4. So that's what that's going to look like. Remember that when we're multiplying, we multiply the numerators, numbers, and the denominators. Alright. Last thing we have to do is subtract the 2. Subtract the 2. So we are left with y equals 1/4 x. Okay, and you can go ahead and substitute this into your calculator like this. Okay, and what you're going to end up, or you could just get a common denominator. I know that I would need to get a common denominator of 4. So this is going to be negative 3/4 minus 8 over 4. Well, negative 3 minus 8 is negative 11 all over 4. So this is what we are looking at. You could have also done that on the calculator if you're not comfortable with fractions, but I think you'll be okay. It's not so bad after all. Well, here's our equation in slope-intercept form. Well done. Great job. Now, let's kind of go into whoa. This problem is we just have 2 points. So let's write it. We got points. That's all they're giving us. They're giving us 1 point, and then they give us another point, which is so kind of them. But where's the slope? I don't get it. Where is my slope? No. All right. Well, what could we do? Any ideas? Oh, that was funny. That was funny. Alright, no, maybe we can find the slope. Let's try that. Alright, here it is. We have the slope, and here's the equation. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I know Alex knows this because she kind of told us in class many times, right? The y's are on top, the x's are on the bottom. Alright, so now we have our slope. So we have negative 6 minus negative 2. And we have 5 minus negative 5. You have to be careful with your negatives. So here's what that looks like. Negative 6 plus 2 all over 5 plus 5. Well, on top we have negative 4, and on the bottom we have a 10. But that could be reduced to negative 2 over 5. So here is our slope. Awesome. Now, although they didn't give it to us from the beginning, we were able to successfully get our slope. Okay, now, well, we have now a slope, which is awesome, and we have a point. So I'm going to go with point-slope form again. So here's what that looks like. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Why else would I use any other? So we have y minus, and I'm going to use any of these points. A lot of people are like, which one should I pick? It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one. So that's going to be a negative 6 for my y value. Okay? And I'm going to put my parentheses around that, equals. Our slope in this case is negative 2 over 5. So let's go ahead and replace that for the m. And then we have our x values, right? And we have x minus, and our x value in this case is 5. So we're going to go ahead and replace that. And then we'll simplify. Now remember that all the answers they wanted was in y-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, so we're going to have to go ahead and simplify. Well, we have y plus 6, because two negatives create a positive. We're going to distribute this over, and we get negative 2 over 5x, which looks scary, but it's not so bad. I'm going to go ahead and put this over 1. Negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. All over 5 times 1 is 5. And that looks like it simplifies to a nice number. And that's y plus 6 equals negative 2 over 5x. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. Awesome. Almost there. Almost have the y by itself. We do have to subtract 6 on both sides of the equation. So we have y equals negative 2/5 x minus 4. Awesome job. Alright, we have one last problem, but guess what? We're not going to do it. We're going to actually wait for us to do this in class. So Vashan, don't worry, it did not break. I'll see you all in class. Can't wait. Good job, guys. Good job.